What's up guys, and welcome to Dubai in the middle of a sandstorm. Tonight, regardless, I'm going to be flying with Kuwait Airlines in their regional first class from here in Dubai through to Kuwait City. I've never once flown with Kuwait Airlines before, but really looking forward to tonight's adventure. Join me, it's going to be a good one. As I set off to the airport, slight correction to make, it is indeed Kuwait Airways. I was actually ticketed in business class tonight. Many airlines operating across the Middle East will often call their very front seats first class on the short haul service, but tonight was business class. Check-in was gloriously quiet and I made use of the priority lane to swiftly get checked in. As I took the tram out to the departure gates, conditions were still incredibly dusty. I wasn't sure at all at this stage whether the conditions would have a significantly negative impact upon my schedule. At this point, I could only cross my fingers and hope for the very best. Upon arriving into the departures area, the sight of this beautiful Panamera GTS certainly calmed any nerves that I had about a delay in the schedule with such a tight onward connection. It was then time to head up to the lounges where I checked myself into the Ahlan Business Class lounge. Kuwait Airways don't operate their own lounge at Dubai airports, but this particular one is one that I've used on a number of occasions with other airlines, and it certainly is pretty impressive for what is just a generic airport lounge. I resisted any food offerings in the lounge as was keen to try everything available on board, and in no time at all I was off down towards the departure gates. On boarding the aircraft, the business class is laid out in a 2-2 configuration. This was to be a brand new Airbus A320 this evening, and these seats really impressed, and Kuwait Airways were off to a very good first impression for me. As part of the seats, there was a ton of different charging ports and options available, and legroom was certainly incredibly plentiful as I sat back and got relaxed into the seat. In the centre armrest could be found the options for the seat adjustment and also the controls for the entertainment system. More on that a little bit later on. For what wasn't a lie flat product, the seats certainly went back a nicely long way and were a hard shell design. Therefore, anyone's reclining activity in front certainly didn't impact you behind. Quick mention for the crew on board, they did a really good job overall, from a warm welcome upon boarding, and they quickly got the service started. It was a very efficient overall service from them. So all boarded, and it's a coffee service to kick us off. Cheers. This should be a good one. Mercifully, despite the conditions, our pushback wasn't too late, only around 30 minutes or so. I made the most of the onboard cameras as part of the departure out, and I will let you enjoy this fantastic takeoff in the sandstorm. Well, that was certainly one of the more dramatic departures out of Dubai. For those of you interested to see the full takeoff footage, check the description below for that video. We were soon, however, steaming out towards Kuwait City, out over the Persian Gulf on a westerly route. This evening, the total flight time was to be around an hour and 20 minutes. Getting settled into the flight, it was first time to check out the entertainment options on board. The headphones came in this beautifully presented bag, and overall the quality of them felt really nice indeed. As for the entertainment, this was very modern. The screen could either be controlled via touchscreen, leaning forward in the seat, or the control panel just down to the side of the seat, which we'll take a look at a little bit later. In terms of content, everything looked pretty good, and there would easily have been a number of good options to keep me entertained on a longer journey, including the fantastic Dark Knight. Wi-Fi was available on board via a variety of different packages. I do have to say I did find this very expensive, so on this particular flight I opted for the onboard entertainment only. A little bit later, I got the chance to try out the full recline function. It was very comfortable indeed. Next up, let's check out the catering on board as the menus were brought around. Kuwait Airways really impressed within this particular area. Given the fact that it was such a short flight, I was very much impressed by the level of choice available. Kuwait Airways are a dry airline, it's worth saying, so no alcoholic drinks were served on this flight. On this occasion, I opted for the chicken. Everything was very well presented. I do have to say the chicken was a little bit tough, but given, to be honest, the duration of the flight, overall, it was a very good food offering on this particular journey. Post the meal service, a hot towel was brought around by the crew, and in no time at all, we were beginning our final descent into Kuwait. So, my very first experience with the airline. What were my thoughts? Overall, really positive. The crew did a great job, service was plentiful and very efficient. Overall, the seating on board also ticked plenty of boxes, with the overall product being quite as modern as it was. Certainly, for short-haul services across the region, I would certainly consider Kuwait Airways into the future. Their overall pricing on this particular route was very competitive. Guys, I've got lots of upcoming videos on the channel, including my first class flight onward from Kuwait to Bangkok. Check that out in the description below. But otherwise, as ever, thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.